Drip, drip, drip. Drops of thick red blood dropped from your hand, covering a large gash in your side. You were almost there, just a few more shaky steps. Once you had gotten to the door, you looked down at your body to survey the full damage. Your hero costume was ripped in several places and soaked with blood. There was still a hole in your hip from where you'd been shot last time you were here. Your face was bloodied and bruised, a shiny black eye and a broken nose only seeming to be the most noticeable thing there. Dabi and the others had really done a number on you, but you'd wanted it that way. It had been 3 months since you had been reported missing, and during that time, Shigaraki had planned a way for you to reveal yourself to UA, and it seemed absolutely perfect. You pulled on the door handle and made your way inside. The halls were empty and all was quiet, except for the muffled talking behind each classroom door. You limped down endless halls until you finally found the stairs that led up to Class 1A. You sat on the bottom step for a few moments before going up. Your ankle was killing you. You shouldn't have told Dabi to break it. You weren't even sure how you were walking on it. Maybe it was the heavy dose of painkillers you had taken, but they seemed to be wearing off. You stood, using the railing for support, and hobbled your way up the stairs. And by the time you got to the top, there was a little trail of blood leading up the stairs on each step. When you got to the top, though, your vision was blurry and you were out of breath. You put your back to the wall and slid down to the floor. Your side was starting to burn, and it was bleeding heavier now. After catching your breath, you stood and started to make your way towards Class 1A, but something caught your eye. A thick layer of blood was smeared on the wall from where you had sat. That wound was deeper than you had ever anticipated. You turned and began hobbling your way down the hall. You were about halfway when the school bell went off, the sound ringing in your ears, making you sick. You stumbled to the side, your shoulder hitting the wall hard, and your free hand covering your ear. When the ringing stopped, you pushed yourself off the wall and continued to limp towards the classroom. Suddenly, you felt a light tap on your shoulder. You turned to see a girl with short brown hair and big brown eyes looking at you with concern. "Are you alright?" she asked. You shook your head. "You're bleeding!" she shrieked. You nodded and pointed toward the door to Class 1A. She nodded and ran down the hall and flung open the door. "Mr. Aizawa!" You heard her cry out. And within seconds, Aizawa came running down the hall straight towards you. He took one look, and his eyes widened. "Peacekeeper?" he exclaimed, grabbing you by the shoulders. "Hey, Shota," you said weakly. You felt dizzy, and your vision was blurrier than it had ever been. You slumped to the floor, clutching the gash in your side. Aizawa saw the blood and turned to the girl with brown hair and told her to go get Recovery Girl. Black spots appeared in the corners of your vision, and your ears felt like they were underwater. The ground felt cool as it came up to meet you, and everything went dark. You woke up to smell something familiar. But before you could figure out what it was, you were blinded by the white lights of the room and a small orange glow coming from an open window. You looked around for a moment, and then recognized that you were in the same 1A hospital wing you were last time, but with different bandages on and one massive headache. You sat there for a moment, just trying to piece together everything that had happened, when you heard the door open, and a young woman walked in. She didn't look at you, but you felt like you had seen her before. "Oh good, you're awake. You've been asleep for a good hour," she said, looking at the chart on your bed. "So, 3 months. Where exactly have you been?" she said, finally meeting your gaze. You got to get a good look at her, and no, it wasn't the same girl from last time. I was captured by the LOV. I don't really remember much." "Really?" Because the last time I heard, they gave you an earpiece, and you're wearing it right now." You stared at her, your eyes wide. What are you talking about? I just escaped from them. How would I possibly have an earpiece?" "You're wearing earrings You normally don't wear those. Your hands went immediately to your ears. You were wearing earrings, and they were earpieces. How did you... Don't worry about it, she said. I'm with the LOV, I promise. The same girl that was here last time had to leave. She got found out. Just stay calm. She spoke softly, and it brought a little bit of relief, but you were still a little confused. And then, the next minute later, the door opened again, and in walked Aizawa. Oh, good, you're awake. What in the world happened to you? It's been 3 months. I honestly don't remember much. You looked like hell when you came here. What did they do to you? You were bleeding. You left a trail of blood all the way up the stairs and smeared on the wall. What did they do? Nothing short of villainous, I guess. He said with a dry chuckle. Well, you've got to at least remember something. It's been 3 months. What have they done to you? You thought for a moment. Shigaraki told you that you needed a cover story, and you had one, but hopefully it fooled him. They pried me for information over and over and over and over again. They tortured me. Dabi left me with burns, Toga with scars, and Shigaraki, he never touched me. He knew that I was too valuable, so he decided not to harm me for some reason. Why are you finding this funny? You were hurt. You were badly hurt when you walked through those doors. That doesn't make any sense, Peacekeeper. Never mind. We're at least glad that you're alright, he said. Oh, I do have something for you. He spoke once again and turned away from you for a moment. When he turned back around, he had a bundle of fabric in his hands and handed it to you. You unfolded it and realized it was your hero costume. Momo Yaoyorozu patched it up for you, as best she could. Sorry if it's not adequate enough. It's fine. Thank you so much, Aizawa. I couldn't have done it without you guys being here to help me. Really? Because if no one had seen you, you would have bled out in the middle of that hallway, the nurse said coldly. Aizawa stared at her. Excuse me, but you are aware that we have to help them, right? He said, raising an eyebrow. She rolled her eyes. Yeah, I'm on it. She walked towards you and lifted up your hospital gown. Your dressings need to be changed. Aizawa, leave. She turned to him and raised an eyebrow at him. Well, get out. Fine. Jeez, you're even worse than Recovery Girl, he mumbled as he walked out. Okay, listen, Peacekeeper. You need to have a cover story for what you're gonna do next, because I know exactly what's going to happen, and I wish you the best of luck. I'll tell you when he's gone so you can leave. Then she turned away from you and walked towards the... Shigaraki had thought this all out. You knew exactly what you were going to do. After what seemed like several minutes, she turned to you and said, Alright, get out. He's gone. You stood and unhooked the IV from your arm. Wish me luck, you stated before opening the door and running outside. You made your way up the stairs past the 1A rooms, past the 1A dorms, and to the roof. And you walked out. The wind blew cold, but it felt good on your skin. You walked right up to the railing that led to the edge of the roof. Then you pressed down on the earrings. Toga's voice came through the other side. Listener? Guys, They're here! You heard an audible sigh from Dabi. Oh, what? Were you worried about me, babe? He said tauntingly.
Of course I was, idiot. You ready to go?
Not until... well, Aizawa knows I'm gone. Which should be any minute now, you stated. And not even 5 minutes later, the roof door burst open. Aizawa, Mike, Midnight, Mirko, and all of Class 1A ran through the door. You stood on the edge, past the railing.
Peacekeeper, what are you doing? Get away from there.
He yelled, trying to get you away from the edge.
Why are you doing this? You're a hero. You don't need... Get away from the edge now, please.
He was begging with you, pleading. It made you laugh.
Aizawa, don't you get it? I can't take it anymore. The hero system, everything. And maybe if I just left, y'all would be so much happier. Maybe if I just stopped being a pro hero altogether.
Your fist tightened around the black mask in your hand. Then you took it and slipped it over your head. Then you turned around, holding on to the railing, and let the crowd see you. Everyone stood there in silence.
You! Wait, Peacekeeper?
Exactly. I literally take a piece of people's souls, don't you know? It's kind of my job. Now, if you excuse me, Eraserhead, I have a job to do. You begin to move back toward the very edge of the roof. At that moment, Aizawa ran up and grabbed you by your hero costume.
You are a monster!
He yelled in your face, spittle hitting your cheeks. First off, that's disgusting. Don't spit on me ever again. Second, if I'm a monster, why is the hero system so corrupt? You can't be a hero without a good or heroic quirk. And mine? You have no idea what I'm capable of, Eraserhead. I can steal any quirk I want. And you have no power to stop me. Well, you might. I don't know. Ta-ta, you said, and shoved him away from you. Then you stepped off. You could feel the wind flying past your hair, past your ears. You knew you were going to hit the ground, but you could hear Shigaraki from the earphone. Kirigiri! Gate! And a purple vortex opened up just feet off the ground, and you flew through. You did land on your back in the middle of the LOV base, though. Ow! Please watch where you're doing that next time. You gasped, sitting up. Dabi ran over to you and embraced you on the ground. Whoa, Dabi. Look, I'm fine. And I'm free. I don't have to wear this stupid thing anymore. Why don't we just burn it? I'm so done with the heroes. I'm finally done with the heroes. I can't wait to see what we've got. Oh, I love you, he said, embracing him. He didn't speak. He just buried his face into the crook of your neck. But you could tell that he was so happy that you were okay and that you were alive. And this was the best reward for revealing yourself. And guys, that is it for this series. I am so done with this. I loved it, but it was kind of a chore to finish. But Anyways, if you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys so much. Please check out my latest community post. Bye-bye.